Hi everyone, it's Athena here. I hope you're doing well. The focus of today's video is going to be on the narcissistic father's relationship with his daughter. Now I'm going to start this video by talking about the importance of a healthy father-daughter relationship, and then I'm going to go into the effects of a narcissistic father on the daughter, the sort of things that a narcissistic father does, the sort of messages that the narcissistic father gives his daughter, and how damaging this can be. And I am going to go into as much detail as I possibly can. Once again, this video is based on my own personal opinions. The content of this video is also from my own personal experience and through a lot of research that I have done from many different psychologists. So first of all, it's important to understand that a father shapes his daughter's self-esteem. A father plays a key role in the psychological development of his daughter from the moment his daughter is born. And unfortunately, the difference between a loving father and an emotionally absent father is huge. It makes a huge difference in the way that his daughter will grow up. When the father is present and loving, the daughter develops a strong sense of self and is much more confident in her abilities. She develops positive self-esteem if she has a healthy father-daughter bond. However, fathers that are abusive verbally or non-verbally, who are neglectful, who are hurtful, this will teach her that this is how a female is supposed to be treated. And what happens in this case is that the daughter will grow up and start attracting abusive partners later in life, and then she will repeat the same form of abuse that she saw as a child between her father and mother in a relationship herself. Now, it is important to understand that a narcissistic father lives through their child. This father expects their child, so in this case their daughter, to follow in his footsteps. So the narcissistic father expects their daughter or son to take up the same career, go to the same college, take the same job, and or accomplish things that maybe the father did not. And if the child does not follow through with this, unfortunately the father will threaten the child, will emotionally abuse the child, will disown the child. So the child is left feeling very, very hurt and ashamed. If you are the daughter of a narcissistic father, you may have noticed that your father constantly put his priorities on the outside world. So your father may have put more importance on the public, on reputation in his community, or what people say or talk about. He would put more importance on that than on your well-being, than on your feelings and emotions. Your father will probably be known to others as very charismatic, a very generous person, very friendly, and he will be loved very, very much in his community, in his work environment, by his friends. Yet behind closed doors, your father is very, very different. He is emotionally unavailable, he is highly critical towards you, has extremely high standards, and expects you to fulfill these high standards. No matter how hard you try, you will never live up to your father's expectations. If you are the daughter of a narcissistic father, you will never feel validated. You will never feel that you are listened to and that you are appreciated for who you truly are. And your father will want you to be a certain type of daughter that makes him proud. He will expect you to be somebody that he can brag about, that he can talk about to his work colleagues, to his friends. A very important effect that a narcissistic father has on their daughter is that the daughter will become a people pleaser, that will not have good boundaries in adulthood. And these people-pleasing habits stem from the fact that the father expected too much of his daughter, and the daughter tried to please him constantly and meet his extreme standards without any result, without any affection, without any love. So when you are a child and you are constantly trying to gain your parents' approval, in this case your father's approval and your father's love, and you are never able to get that, then this of course will transfer into adulthood and you will then become a people pleaser. Another important thing that you may have noticed if you had a narcissistic father is that he may have discouraged you from having any friendships, because a narcissistic father wants to control the daughter. A narcissistic father tries to keep their daughter under control and doesn't want the daughter to grow up, to become a teenager, to become a young woman with the need to have a boyfriend, to have normal, healthy relationships. So the narcissistic father will be hypercritical of any possible boyfriends that the daughter will have, and they will try and sabotage any possible relationships and any possible friendships. They don't want to lose control of their daughter. They want the daughter to remain a child so that they can continue to have an influence over their daughter. A very sad thing is that a narcissistic father may have been extremely affectionate towards their daughter when their daughter was still young. But once the daughter starts changing and starts wanting to do different things and have more freedom, the father does not like this. So the father may stop showing his teenage daughter affection. The narcissistic father will start being hypercritical of any potential boyfriends. He will say, that boy is not good enough for you. He thinks that any man out there is not good enough for his little girl. And sadly, narcissistic fathers can shame their daughters when it comes to sexuality, when it comes to boyfriends. The narcissistic father may make their daughter feel bad about themselves, may call them names, calling them a slut, calling them, derogatory terms, because they are not ready to accept that their daughter has grown up, that their daughter wants to date and do all the healthy things that a teenage girl wants to do. The narcissistic father wants to control his daughter, wants her to always be daddy's little girl. And this is obviously extremely unhealthy, because a daughter needs to grow up and have her independence and explore relationships, explore her sexuality, and detach from her father and her mother. It is worth mentioning that narcissistic fathers may substitute an emotional connection with their daughter with financial control, financial generosity. So the father may give the daughter a lot of gifts, may give the daughter a lot of money. The daughter will end up feeling that this is the only way that she's loved, by having money. Having a narcissistic father means that as a daughter you may be struggling with issues of low self-esteem. You may not feel a strong sense of self. You may have trouble in relationships. You may be finding that you are having relationships with men that resemble your father, that are unhealthy, that are emotionally unavailable, that are abusive. And unfortunately, this is what happens. Your father set an example of what a man is, and that is all you know. So it only makes sense that you will then attract emotionally unavailable partners. And that's why it's very important to realize that you have a toxic father early on, because then you can sort of tackle this in therapy. You can self-educate yourself and learn more about unhealthy relationships, red flags of potential unhealthy partners, and start your healing journey so you do not attract any more abuse into your life. So that is the end of the video. I hope you found it useful. Once again, if you have any questions at all, then please leave them in the comments below or send me an email. So I wish you all the best. Thanks very much for tuning in to today's video, and I will see you very soon. Take care. Bye bye.